a friend. Wait, don't miss this video. If you are watching it right now, it means you are already a part of something amazing. Before anything happens, subscribe to this channel. Seriously, just one tap. Done. Good. Stay till the end. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.
Did you guys hear the story about the girl who went on a date? So they go on a date, everything seems to be going great, they parted ways, she goes home. He then calls her and says, hey, I'm locked out of my apartment, gotta wait till my roommate gets home, can I stay at your place? She thinks it's weird, but she says sure, they had a good time, he seemed nice enough, so he comes over. She set him up in the living room and went in to go to bed, shut and locked the door. He then knocked on the door and said he needed a phone charger, that his phone was dead. She said there was one out in the living room. A couple minutes later, he comes back, knocks on the door and says, that one isn't working. Do you have another one? That's when she started to get a weird feeling. She called 911 and told them. She heard a ruckus going on in the living room. The police came. They knocked on the door and said, ma'am, you need to come out here. Her whole living room had been wrapped in plastic and there were medical tools laid out.
Na, bist gerade erst aufgestanden?
Ja, ich habe Leonie schon in den Kindergarten gebracht. Und dann habe ich mich noch mal was hingelegt. Ich war so müde. Ich habe die ganze Nacht vor Aufregung gar nicht schlafen können.
Warte mal, Domme ist so aufgeregt, dass sie in der Nacht nicht schlafen konnte. Und deswegen hat sie sich dann mittags noch mal hingelegt, obwohl sie ja eigentlich noch aufgeregter sein müsste, weil das Date dann ja viel näher dran ist. Krass. Das ergibt überhaupt keinen Sinn.
Ja, das kann ich mir vorstellen.
Ja, ich will mich auch gerade fertig machen.
Nee, Domme, eigentlich hast du gerade eben noch zugegeben, dass du doch noch geschlafen hast. Und wann sollst du dich denn dann fertig gemacht haben? Aber wie auch immer, wenig später danach ist Domme dann tatsächlich im Bad. Und das mit dem Strumpfhosen anziehen klappt gleich mal super. Alles klar, und während sich dann Domme weiter in ihr Presswurst-Cosplay schleust, macht Tante Marianne das, was jede gute Tante in dieser Situation tun würde. Sie stöbert nämlich völlig grundlos und ohne es zu sagen durch Dommes Wohnung und macht auch alle Schubladen auf. Und an der Stelle habe ich mich übrigens immer gefragt, ob die ganze Wohnung eigentlich von RTL 2 so arrangiert ist oder ob Domme da wirklich wohnt.
What is your worst dating horror story? I'll go first. So I was 26 or 27 years old. I was working in a bar and we would outsource for security on certain nights of the week. So that security company had this one guy that worked for him that was stationed at my bar. So we would talk all the time. It was always slow at the beginning and we had great conversations. We talked about books that we've read. He's read the Bible. We've talked about, life, dreams, and bullshit like that, right? So he asked me out one night, and I said, okay. So we went to go play pool, and during the pool, we started to play this truth or shot game. So we started drinking, and I asked him, what was your longest relationship? And he had said 8 months. Or 6 months, something like that. But I was like, we're 27 years old, bro. Like 7 months? What? Like really? WTF? So I was like, okay, how long ago was that? He said high school. I'm like, okay. I am afraid to ask, but let's do it anyway. Why? He said, because I've been incarcerated for the past 10 years. And I didn't stop questioning. I said, what were you incarcerated for? He said, armed robbery. And I ain't gonna give details on nothing because y'all some detectives. But yeah, that was our last date.
Oh yeah, one more thing. If y'all see me on Love Island, mind your fucking business, bitch. I'm trying to find love, bitch. Y'all had y'all motherfucking chance.
If you haven't heard the video about the girl that went on a date with someone she met on a dating app, then literally almost got murdered to pieces, I'm gonna give you the short story here. If you want the long version, look it up. But basically, this girl met this guy on a dating app. They went on a first date. He paid, treated her well, whatever. Then he went home, called her, was like, hi, I'm locked out of my house, my roommate's not home, can I just come hang at yours? She brought him back to her house after her first date. That's crazy. And then she went to bed in her room. He still said he was waiting for his roommate, whatever. She fell asleep, woke up to him knocking on her door, being like, do you have a phone charger? And she was like, yeah, in the kitchen. She was getting smart at this point. He said it wasn't working. She knew it was working. Called 911. Basically, 911 came. She stayed in her room. And when the police told her to come out of her room, she saw, like, a tarp on the ground with all these, like, things, like, all these tools, I think they said, that would literally, like, cut a person up, okay? You want to hear more details? Just look it up, because it's going all over right now, especially on TikTok. But I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm like, oh. I have never actually gone on a date with a guy I've met on a dating app, but I have flown to see people who I've, like, met through Instagram. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I should not be doing that. Because could you imagine if you're in, I don't know, a different state or province or, like, different country, and you think you know this person, and then all of a sudden you're just, like, cut up to pieces and no longer here? So I will be changing my lifestyle. Maybe, like, meet some friends or something. Like, I definitely will never be if bringing a guy back to my house, even if he's, like, stranded in the snow. You are not coming back after I, like, know you really well. But even, like, what if it's your 5th date and you think you know them? And you want to, like, hang out and watch a movie, and then, boom, you're just, like, cut up into pieces. I don't know, but how am I supposed to find a man out here now? Now I'm like, this is crazy. Like, crazy. I'm shook. I am shook.
What happened to your eye? I just have really bad hay fever, so they get a bit bloodshot and swollen sometimes. The pollen this year is just absolutely wild.
Crazy dating horror stories. I have to tell you guys this one. This is very scary. So went on 3 dates with this guy. First 2 dates, totally normal, no red flags. First date was a coffee date, and then we ended up having lunch later that day. And then the next time was dinner, both totally normal. Third date, he said, hey, let's get some Mexican food. I was like, cool, don't have to tell me twice about some chips and queso and a margarita, let's do it. So we went, had a great evening. The whole time he was talking about his car, how his car is like his baby. I don't know anything about cars, so he was saying what kind of car it was. I had zero idea what that meant. Whatever. It was a flex apparently for him. It was a convertible. That's all that I knew. He talked about it the entire time, how he like built it himself, all those things. So after dinner, he says, hey, would you want to like ride around in my car? He's like, it's a really nice night. It's a convertible. Would love to turn the music up and just have a great time. Now, riding around it with music and the windows down is like one of my favorite things to do in the world. So I was like, yeah, then we can do that. It's my 3rd date with this guy. It should be fine. Now, my friends knew that I was on a date with this guy, but did not know like that I would be going anywhere with him, obviously. So I wasn't anticipating like going to a house or anything like that. We get in the car, we're listening to music, all is well. It's been a great evening. Then he pulls into a neighborhood. I was like, where are we going? He said, oh, this is my house. He's like, I have leftover food in the back. I just really want to run it into the refrigerator real quick. I was so uncomfortable because I'm like, no one knows where I'm at. I did not tell them that I was going to somebody's house. So I was like, I would prefer us not. Like, can we just go back and you can just drop me off and then come right back? He's like, no, I'm already here. Like I live 15 minutes away from the restaurant. I don't want to drive all the way back. We're already here. Let me run in. You don't have to come in. Like, okay. So he runs in. I sit in the car. 10, 15 minutes later, this man is still not out. I'm texting him from outside in the car, like, hey, is everything okay? He finally calls me and he's like, hey, you should just come in. My dog is having some trouble. I think she ate something bad. Come in and just like stay with me for a few minutes and then we'll go. I'm like, okay. If I could go back and shake myself and tell myself absolutely not run, I would, but I did not. At the time, I was too much of a people pleaser and I was afraid to say, hey, I just don't feel comfortable with this. So I went along with it to be nice. I go inside and there is 2 wine glasses full of wine. And this was like the 4th red flag. I was like, hey, I don't really feel comfortable getting drunk or like drinking a lot. Thank you so much though. He gets so mad. What do you mean? Do you think I'm gonna like do something to you just because you're drunk? Sir, why is that your first thing to say? That's strange. So I just said, no, thank you. I'm good. Guys, this date gets scary and weird and awful and all the things. So, but it's getting long. We're going to make a part 2. So follow along for part 2.
Listen to me. So listen to me. Huh? Listen. I'm going to call you back in 30 minutes. And you better have answers. Ooh, I got another good one for y'all. Have you ever had an ex where you saw their true colors after you broke up? And you didn't know how mentally unstable they were until you guys broke up? Ooh, do I got a story for y'all.
A girl by the name of Jill broke up with her boyfriend Tom and is completely destroyed. She doesn't know how to move on. In order to make the first step of moving on, she gave him a call. Jill calls her now ex-boyfriend Tom, and Tom pretty much reassures her that everything's going to be okay, that she's going to be able to move on, and that to call him whenever she's in trouble. Sounds like a lot of foreshadowing, huh? In an effort to get over Tom, Jill goes on Tinder and finds this guy named Mark. They end up matching with one another, and they started talking. They went on a couple dates, and he always seemed like such a nice guy, until the 4th date. Ooh, do you got goosebumps? Because I got goosebumps. So on the 4th date, he was completely belligerent, but at this point, they were so close that he pretty much told her, like, hey, why don't you come over to my house? They've never been over each other's houses at this time. In an effort for Jill to get closer to Mark, especially to get over, her heartbreak, she agreed. And as she was sitting on his bed, she found a knife under his pillow. At this point, she's freaking out. Mind you, at this time, Mark was in the kitchen fixing up some drinks for her. So she decides to peek in and see what's going on. Jill secretly sees Mark putting some drugs in her cup. Jill starts to put the pieces together that Mark is trying to drug her and kill her. Her freaking out, she takes the knife and she goes into the bathroom. And she calls none other than her ex, Tom. As Tom picks up, Jill is crying and pretty much just asking him to come pick her up. She sends Tom the location and he says he's on his way. Him being only a few minutes behind, Jill is still stuck in that bathroom. But that crazy guy, Mark, starts banging his head onto the glass, knowing that she took something of his. The bathroom door is half glass, so he's literally just banging his head onto the glass till he breaks through. Jill freaks out so much that she jumps out the window and breaks her ankle, but she still made it to the car. Jill finally makes it home and is so thankful for Tom that they ended up getting back together. Ooh. As they made some sweet, sweet love, Jill was just chilling on the bed, just happy to be back and to be safe. At this time, Tom was taking a shower and he left his phone on the bed. A random number texts him. After she opens the phone, she sees this message thread. Got the payment, thanks. And it's also from an unknown number, so she's kind of weirded out. Her being super curious, she read the message thread, so she wanted to see the text message above that. Tom sent this message. Got her back, thanks for all the help, sent you that money. Who do you think he sent that to? Your boy, Mark. So Tom pretty much set her up. So Tom hired a psychopath to pretty much scare Jill to get back with him. If that's not toxic for y'all, I don't know what is.
Since we're talking about DMV dating, I moved here from Miami about 3 years ago, right? So when I first moved, yes, I downloaded one of the apps. I did. Or maybe it was AI. I don't know. Anyways, I decided to go on a date with this one guy. And it was our first date. He's like, yeah, pull up. We'll get some drinks. I said, you know what? Let me go get a drink. Because what else am I going to do? I had no friends. I moved here with nobody. I said, okay, let's go get a drink. So we get to the bar. Whole bar is like a horseshoe. So where me and him sat were like in the middle. So, if something happened, everybody could look directly at us. So I'm kidding. I'm not kidding when I say it was about 5 minutes in. I look to the outside and I see that there's this woman with 2 suitcases. Bigger woman. Think, this color, short bob type of thing. Like the Cookie Monster pajama type girl, right? Please. So she has tattoos, thick woman, thick this color woman, bob, very hood, gripped my purse a little bit. So she starts getting closer and I'm talking to him, but then I look one more time and she's gone. And as I'm mid-sentence, I see this woman is walking up and she's walking towards the guy I'm on a date with. And I'm like, maybe she's a crackhead. I don't know. I didn't know what to think at that moment, but she walks directly up to him and she says his name. We're going to give him a fake name for right now. We're going to call him Ryan. She said, Ryan, you don't see me? And I'm like, I know she not talking about this man next to me. Mind you, bar, everybody is staring at us right now. So everybody's attention is on us. And she came in here with 2 big old suitcases, y'all. I'm not guessing it. 2 big old suitcases, loud. She had half of a grill in her mouth. And she goes, Ryan, you don't see me? And she looks over to me and I look at her and I'm not reacting because I'm just like, I know this can't be real life. So I was like, Maybe he owes her money for something. Maybe he's like a street pharmacist. I don't know what it is. This is my first day. I'm just meeting the man. She proceeds to say, I don't have no beef with you, but this is my husband. And I'm like, right. Whole bar gets silent. She said, this is my husband and he has herpes. And I'm just sitting there like, she starts reaching into her suitcase. One of the suitcases. She starts pulling out his underwear. I'm not making this up. This is in the middle of the bar. Starts pulling out his underwear. Starts pulling out a bag of lettuce. Throwing his lettuce around everywhere. I guess he was a street distributor. I don't know. And I'm still sitting there because I'm like, I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm like, this is not real life. Only things like this happen to me. And my close friends will tell you this is like, this happened in real time because I took videos of stuff and I'm not going to post them, but this is real life. This happened in Washington, D.C. And she pulls it out and she's like, she starts twerking. She's like, yeah, I caught you. This my husband. Whole bar is looking at me. The bartender is trying to make drinks, but he's like, and I get my check. And that just sums up what DC dating is like. I have not downloaded an app since. I stopped dating about a year ago. And yeah, that's just, I've heard worse, but I just wanted to share my story because it's one of the funniest stories that I've had here. And mind you, that was all on the first date. So I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we need a fresh new batch in, or maybe I just need a date out of state. But yeah.